Big news coming in from Russia and Ukraine. Putin has signed two big decrees. What does this mean? Ukrainian citizens who are currently in Russia illegally, allegedly, must leave the country by 10th of September or be legalized. That is, become, at least put it on documents that they are as Ukrainians living in Russia. Foreigners in Donbass and Novorossiya are required to provide proof of their negative HIV status, drug use history by the 10th of June. This is very interesting. So in many ways, remember, as we are expecting Russia and Ukraine to end the war, at least begin with a good ceasefire for a long time. But Putin already has said to Ukrainian citizens who may be living in Russia illegally to either leave the country by 10th September or be legalized. And then saying if there are foreigners living in certain areas and areas that have been either associated with war, especially for example Donbass, are required to provide proof of their negative HIV status, drug use history by June. India Today Global's Shashank Mattu is joining me for the latest on that. Shashank, good morning. Tell me more about this decree. Very interesting because it's not exactly about the war and yet says so much about it.
No, absolutely, Pooja, you're right. The key thing to remember here is that Putin is really preparing for what happens once the war is finished, because we're rapidly moving towards a situation where Russia, Ukraine and the United States are working to end the conflict quickly. And Putin, of course, has conquered significant territory of Ukraine. What he wants to do is to ensure that a large number of the people who are living in these territories can transition into Russian citizenship. So this is not the first time he's signed a decree on citizenship. But the idea really here is that people who are living in the Donbass, as you were mentioning, as well as other territories that Russia has conquered in the Ukraine war, will have a certain period of time within which they will have to acquire Russian citizenship, or they will be living illegally, as it were, in Russian territory. So the idea is that the territories that you have, you want the people living in those territories to transition into acquiring Russian citizenship, become Russian, so that your control over these parts of Ukraine becomes much more solid, much more firm, and therefore the gains that Russia has made in this war will become therefore effectively part of Russia, and the people of these regions will also become part of Russia.
All right, keep tracking all the latest on that, and remember, this will also signify whether there will be a change on the ground.